Yo, yo, what's up, MoFlo? Zay, what's going on? Good morning, good morning. Hello, Jay. Wow. Sorry, I gotta add my thumbnail. You guys know the first 2 minutes are me wondering if we're actually live and then and then making sure everything is uploaded, which it's not at all. Here we go. Yo, what's good? What's good? Welcome back to the channel. Live. Coming at you live. Here we go. Thumbnail added. We're actually doing it now. It's beautiful. Here we go. Nothing is working. It's coming back soon. It's early, bro. It is very early. I still have a full cup of coffee. What's up, Jeremy? Pika collects Supa, my guy. My number one vendor. Here we go. All right. All right, we are good. There we go. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It is good to see all of you, even though you can only see me. But I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling good. How are we all feeling? We got football today. All right. I don't know if anybody cares, but week 1 football, the hope is there. You know what I'm saying? By the way, how does the mic sound? Does it sound a little bit better? Let me know. This is the first time I'm using it, so I actually don't know how it sounds at all. Mic sounding much better. Yeah, my headset mic, it's got one of these mic things, which is fine, but then it started sounding really bad. I noticed a couple weeks ago. Not as loud, but crisp. Okay. I don't know how to adjust my mic settings in StreamYard, but when I record a video, the next video I make, I got all the settings dialed in, so it should sound all right for sure. Sound and video is much better. Is better than normal. That's high praise from Supathinka. Thank you, Alexander. I see your question about the 151 UPC. We got a lot to talk about today, guys. We got a lot of sets to go over. Dude, I thought Euphoria was already happening. And I think to some degree it is, but I think we are really going to move into something pretty scary. For sure. It does replace OBS. So I don't have OBS open at all. And I like StreamYard. It's pretty cool. You have a little, I think when you don't, because it's free, the free option, like you don't get a lot of customization with filters and things like that, but I like it. It's easy to use. 1 like equal 1 restock. Hey, there you go. By the way, guys, I have to shill myself a little bit, as you know. My memberships are open, and there's really not any reason to do it other than I'm going to have a members only Discord chat where I plan to be pretty active. And if you want a direct line to your boy and you have questions and whatnot, I'm planning on putting a lot of effort into that chat. Beyond that, it's literally just to support me. That's it. I still plan on typing in all of the other chats in Discord, business as usual. So just being here interacting, not even interacting, just being a viewer is all good, is all great, all greatly appreciated. But if you do become a member, I would love to add you to the members only chat in the Discord, which you can't see unless you get the role, which I have now created. So yeah, that's pretty much that. Just want to put that out there. I don't want a direct line. Hey, that's totally valid. Also, no pressure for anybody to do this. I don't know. Maybe I would like to add on like some different things, like maybe members only giveaways in the future, members only voice chat events in the future. I think that would be cool. Just stuff like that, you know. I don't plan on paywalling content though, for sure. So it's literally just a support. But I'll leave it at that. Appreciate y'all though, for real. All right. Yeah, Jay, I do recommend it. This is my second time using it. And if you have been here on my other streams, they were pretty ass because I was just on my phone. We were just vibing. For sure. Hello, Breaking Brad Forrest. I see your comment. We'll get into it, my friend. For sure. Hello, Archer. Good to see you. All right. I have picked a starting point for today. By the way, if you need a water, need a coffee, now's the time. Cheers. Good morning, wherever you are in the world. I'm on Eastern time here in the Southeast. Weather perfect. Finally. Good morning. I would like to start here today. Hey, Crown Zenith, your time has come. Hey, I know it's nothing crazy, but like a move like this for Crown Zenith, check this out, boy. 77 listed. They are getting purchased. Are there other things in the market moving faster? Yeah. But look at this 1 year chart. 293%. I know other things have moved faster, but like for Crown Zenith, that's pretty miraculous. A year ago, I was buying these suckers for $33 on TikTok. I bought 3 of them for $75 for all 3, including shipping. Supa, I am interested, but I would like to know what the price of that would be. And I have a feeling it's going to be high. Yeah, Crown Zenith, guys, moving a lot. I put out a singles video yesterday, which is pretty abnormal for my channel. But it was worth doing because at a certain point, when you're talking about sealed investing, you need to consider why certain things are going up. We always talk about what's in the set, the chase cards, all of that, contributing to sealed performance. But currently, we're just in a singles pump. Literally everything is going up. And it has to be noted. It has to be noted that there are short and midterm opportunities with singles, and sealed is continuing to go. So it's good for sealed, the singles boom right now. So I mean, look at the prices of these cards. This Mewtwo, I talked about it, of course, but my God, it's like $160. Or is it more? No, that can't be right. Is this a $200 card? It's a $200 card. Pretty insane. Pretty insane. As far as like products go for Crown Zenith, like for me, I'm thinking about packs. I think the ETBs are still good, especially because ETBs recently have really like increased in brand recognition as a product from a year ago. Like nobody gave a shit about ETBs. Now ETBs are like, I think booster boxes and PC ETBs are king, but like ETBs are right there along with booster bundles. It's pretty insane. So for my money, like pretty much anything here under $10 a pack or around there. I don't know if you can even get anything under $10 a pack at this point, but $10 to $12 packs, like I'm in, bro. I'm in. And kind of thinking the train is leaving the station on Crown Zenith. I don't know how many times I said to buy this box from $150 to $200 for months, but there you go. I still think it's a good buy. I think these will be $300 by the end of the year. So Crown Zenith, I still don't think it's really had its day yet. You know what I mean? I don't think there's any like hype or FOMO. There's a little bit in Crown Zenith, but the cards are so plentiful that, you know, they are starting to move up, which is pretty impressive. But like, I don't think anybody's rushing to get Crown Zenith sealed right now. You know what I'm saying? But this is an S tier set. Arguably the best set from both Scarlet and Violet and Sword and Shield. Some people would say this is better than Evo Skies. And when I'm in a certain mood, I might agree. I don't know. But yeah, I regret walking past Crown Zenith ETBs last year. Didn't we all? I did that back in like November, October, December, all those months. Crown Zenith, $55. I was like, $55? It's so expensive. Same with Lost Origin ETBs. I remember, clear as day. It's pretty insane. Crown Zenith was a set so many people opened it was cheap. I don't think there is as much sealed product left as the market thinks currently. It's definitely getting the less and less supply recently. I mean, this quantity, and this is just TCG Player. You know, we could look at eBay or whatever, but locally, not seeing a lot of Crown Zenith like I was. I haven't been to a card show in a couple months, but 2 months ago, you could get Crown Zenith ETBs all day long for $175, and that was like a little over what people were paying. You know what I mean? But like not long ago, this quantity was listed at like 150. It's down to 77. I'm not saying it's going to go to zero because as the price goes up, people are going to list more. But it's worth noting. This is also the case for many sealed products right now. I do recognize that. But Crown Zenith having this type of run up to me without having like, I wouldn't call anything here like super crazy compared to some other movement and some other products. So I mean, we could be at the beginning of a huge move right now for Crown Zenith, but like, I don't even think it's had a huge move yet. It's been marching up for over a year. You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy to say if you zoom out and think about what I just said. It's up 300% a year. But yeah. Breaking Brad, I think we are in for another leg up over the holiday. I'm selling a lot into the holiday, taking profits, and then we will see where things are going into the 30th. I think that's a pretty good plan. I think that's a fair plan. I think people are really scared to sell right now. I know Joey came out with that video saying he wasn't going to sell because I messaged him asking if I could buy his Cosmic box, which is kind of funny. I was half joking, half being serious because I knew he wasn't going to sell. But like, you know, when we think about greed and fear in the market, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of fear right now. Like if I had to predict the fear and greed index based on what I've seen on YouTube recently with how singles and promos are moving, I would say that we're like, and I'm pulling a number out of my ass, but it feels like an 80 plus greed index. So theoretically, it's a good time to sell now. But you have to think about what could cause a downturn. And beyond what are things that could cause downturns? Pokemon would have to change their philosophy on certain sets. If they were like, hey, actually, Mega Evolution, we're going to delay all future sets. We're just going to print Mega Evolution for, I don't know, 2 times the amount of time, at least initially. Push Phantasmal Flames. Something like that could cause a lot of product to hit out into the market, and there's less margin to be made. But as long as scalpers, flippers can make money in the short term by immediately buying a product for MSRP off the shelf and making money on it, I don't see how anything would change. A market crash could send a lot of product into the market, some type of recession. I've been hearing a recession be predicted for the last probably 4 years at this point. I think there's a lot of conversation to be had there as to whether or not we were actually in a recession, which maybe we were, but we're definitely in some type of soft landing era. Rates are starting to be cut very slowly, to be fair, but that only means people are going to be spending more. So I don't know. Job market, pretty bad. I would say it's very hard to get a good job right now. Wages are terrible. They've been stagnating for years now. I do think a lot of people in this hobby are very, very over leveraged. And by over leveraged, I just mean from their own checking account, not from loans. Maybe they are, though, from credit card loans. But I don't know what's going to stop this. The main thing that Pokemon has going for it, obviously, is the fact that sealed product is deflationary. There's a lot more risk in singles and promos and slabs, that's for sure. But I do think there is a short and midterm opportunity. But my mantra on this channel has always been the same. It is buy what I believe in and try to pair that with things that have a more limited risk level. For instance, when I look at Sword and Shield, we're not getting more Sword and Shield, right? And this was especially true a few months ago when prices were a bit cheaper. I understand. Fusion Strike is $1,100. But from a risk perspective, when a box is close to price to a recent set and it's out of rotation, out of print, and it's a good set, you're limiting your risk because now I don't have to worry about reprints. It's out of rotation. It's done. At this point, we're entering like some type of price discovery, price appreciation mode, with limited downside, relatively speaking, to the hobby. Pair that with something like Journey Together or Destined Rivals, both of which are performing relatively well, especially Destined Rivals. But you're inheriting a lot more risk because the Pokemon Company, really since Prismatic, they've stated that they're going to print these sets to demand. Or actually, I don't even think they have stated that. They did that for Prismatic, but you're taking on a bit more risk. So your time horizon, perceivably, you need to be in longer. Typically, where I'd say 2 years, I would say for these newer sets, you probably want to be looking at 3 years minimum to kind of deal with any volatility coming in the future. So when I invest in the market, I'm not worried about what's happening with a crash, partially because I believe in the hobby long term. It's number one IP in the world. That would be another way for the trading card world to kind of collapse, is Pokemon all of a sudden not being popular. It's only grown every single year. It's by far the number one IP in the world. If you don't know, look how large Pokemon is compared to everything else. The number 2 IP in the world is Mickey Mouse and Friends, according to Wikipedia, at 61 billion in total revenue. Pokemon is 113 billion. So it's going to take a lot for Pokemon to not be popular. By the way, the last few games for Pokemon have been dog shit, and yet it grows every year. It's pretty insane. So, now we're coming out of the coldest time of the year, being the summer for the market, historically speaking. Investors are kind of flooding in from everywhere. because where else can you have 100% gains in a couple months' time potentially on a lot of these products? Can't really do that in the stock market. Can't really do that in crypto right now. So, where's a better investment than Pokemon at the moment? It's I don't know if it exists. So, aside from a few exceptions, of course, but as a whole, and now it's getting a little bit more attention from larger investors with serious capital to deploy. I wouldn't be surprised at some point if financial institutions get involved, but I'm not sure. I don't work in finance, so I'm not sure how viable that is as an investment strategy, partially because it's, these are physical assets. So there's a bit more involved than just somebody like, you or me. So I don't know what's going to stop. I can't come up with any reason that feels realistic, and at least for the rest of this year, that's going to stop this market. And that's not even including all the catalysts for Pokemon's growth. You have a new game coming out in a month. TCG Pocket is popping off. Pokemon Go is still doing well. The 30th anniversary is next year. The Mega Block is getting a ton of hype. The sets are pretty good so far from what we can see. People are enjoying the reveals, the products, everything. Now, I could also see the hype continuing through the Mega Block into 30th anniversary, and then when Gen 10 is announced, because I'm sure they're going to announce it with the 30th anniversary next year. They would be dumb not to, because that's when the hype is going to be at its peak, and they kind of have a reason to. I think when that next Gen 10 block starts, we could return to some level of normalcy, kind of like how we saw with Scarlet and Violet. I don't know if we're going to have $100 boxes again, but, being able to get product easily, people are saying that that's probably what's going to happen. I don't know. One thing I know for sure is that product cannot double every year at 100% gain forever. If you were to do the math on a $400 box, in 10 years, that box, if it doubled every year, would be worth $400,000. So it's not going to happen. Something is going to change, and I imagine it will happen within the next 5 years or so. When? I would bet that it's not in the short term, and I would bet it's not in the midterm. I think we'll probably have to look to next year from the summer on. Plus or minus a few months depending on the release schedule. But we also have Phantasmal Flames coming out. We have the Rayquaza set. Rayquaza. Bro, does anybody say Rayquaza? I feel like such a nerd. Rayquaza. Nah, dude, Rayquaza. That sounds so much better. Whatever. I'll say Rayquaza, I guess, if they're going to correct me. But yeah, those are kind of my general thoughts as to what's happening. So I'm looking at, products that I'm seeing exclusivity. I'm seeing popularity. I have personal conviction in the sets. Destined Rivals is a great example of this. I do think we're going to get a reprint at some point. Right now, the Pokemon market is really, really focused on Prismatic. Past few weeks and in this month, they've printed probably more Prismatic than they have in the past. Maybe not right at the beginning, but probably pretty close. We got these Costco 2-pack boxes, which I just walked into Costco and got some. I didn't even camp out or anything. I just got it. So shout out. And then we got some Prismatic Sea and Sky boxes, the Tyranitar Lucario box or whatever. We need a better name for that box. My God. We also have the figure collection coming out later this month. There was an announcement that Costco is going to come out with some mini 10 situation as well. So I don't know, as far as Prismatic goes, that we're going to get more than what we got. So I don't know. I think we'll see what happens. But I think right now is probably a good time to buy something like Prismatic for MSRP if you have the chance to get it. which, to be honest, it wasn't that hard for me personally. Maybe your area was different. A lot of people were very jealous about information I noticed in the local channels on PokeNotify, which is very interesting. So I blasted out the Costco that I went to that still had a pallet left and gave people estimated times that they were going to sell out, and everybody who wanted it got it. So it was pretty cool. But yeah, I think it's very interesting. So at some point I will sell. It's just not going to be anytime soon. And I still, yeah, I do find that it's getting harder to invest in the hobby right now. There are still opportunities, don't get me wrong, but things are running up. Things are running up. It wasn't as easy as it was as 2 months ago when, you know, Chilling Reign was like sub $400 basically, which is like an obvious buy. The obvious buys are getting harder. More people are coming into the space. Everybody knows about promos. Everybody knows about Victini and the EVSPC promo. And now this Marnie's Morpeko. You know, if it's a decent promo, it's probably going to go up. So I think a lot of people are going to buy the SPC promo because that's starting to move up. We haven't gotten any announcements for restocks of that. The Victini, I think, is moving up a lot in price. You know, that's probably going to keep going up. So it's like, yeah. More people kind of know what's going on. And so you kind of have to get ahead of the curve. I was watching Ern yesterday. He's talking about this. I thought it was a great video. So shout out to Ern if you're watching. Everybody should go watch that video that he put out yesterday. So, yeah, I mean, that's what we do on this channel. We try to get ahead of the curve, and I think we've done a very good job. As far as sealed goes, especially, I think we were ahead on the Sword and Shield curve. We were ahead on the early Scarlet and Violet curve. And I'm not saying it takes a rocket scientist to understand this, but it's pretty clear that money moves cyclically in this space. And if you understand what is going to be popular with certain criteria, Pokemon, right? Certain types of Pokemon and certain sets, prices compared to new things coming out, you're going to do well. So, you know, that's kind of my rant. Dove into a few different ideas there, but you know, I just I wouldn't say I'm worried about the market, but I am putting on some alarms, if that makes sense. I'm definitely trying to have my alarms active, and just make sound decisions, because if you want to build wealth in this world, take it from a 28-year-old. If you want to build wealth, you need to be consistent in what you're doing, and you need to have conviction, and you need to understand the possible outcomes and scenarios that could happen. So I have full confidence in all of the investments that I have currently. And if I choose something that performs 20% less than something else, like Destined Rivals, for instance, if I choose a Sword and Shield box that underperforms Destined Rivals, I can live with that because I've mitigated my risk. This is how you need to be thinking in this market. You know, it's one thing to go, hey, is an SPC a good buy right now? Like, I will answer that question, but it's also like, we have to think about why. And there needs to be more conversation around why in this space. Supa, new member. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Thank you very much, dude. I really appreciate that. Thanks, man. Supa is a big contributor to our community. He vends a lot. He has a wealth of knowledge investing in general. From my understanding, he's a little bit older too, so he's seen a lot of things. I appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. And I'll make sure you're added to the members only chat in the Discord. I'll do that right now, my friend. Or I'll do that in a bit. Sorry. All right. So if you have some questions, what I would like to start doing is, I saw on another live stream, the way they do it is they have question : they have a question. That's a good way to do it, just so I know that it's a question versus a comment. I'm not saying you have to do that, but if you do that, I appreciate it. And I would love to answer some questions. Let me scroll up a little bit and kind of see what people are saying. What will be printed more, 151 or Prismatic? Probably Prismatic. Hello, Travis. Good to see you. I'll always ask why. I'll always remember someone was asked, "Why do you believe in Pokemon?" And the reply was, "Even your grandma knows who Pikachu is." Really opened my eyes that day, guys. Yeah, look at these IPs. For reference, Star Wars is worth almost $50 billion. Pokemon is over twice the size. Isn't that insane? I mean, a lot of you already know this, but like some of you probably don't. You're like, yeah, Pokemon's popular. Like everybody played Red and Blue or whatever. Bro, it's still huge. That is retail sales generating 106 billion. That's insane. Mobile games, 9 billion. Home video, 40 million. Jet aircraft sales, 3 million. That's wild. What was the revenue for trading cards? It is what, somewhere north of 10 billion? Do they just include, I guess they include that in retail sales. Pretty interesting. All right. Fortune favors the bold. Take a risk or do nothing. I sometimes agree with that, but you should have conviction. You should also, in my opinion, you should kind of like Pokemon. It just makes it easier to stay in the hobby for a long period of time. If you don't like Pokemon at all and you're just buying shit, like, yeah, you can theoretically be fine, but I think you're a lot more likely to last in Pokemon investing if you like Pokemon, because even in down markets, you still enjoy everything going on. And the key to investing is time in the market, my friends. Yeah, we're all making money right now, but time in the market is everything. For sure. Hello, everybody. Welcome. If you just joined recently, I appreciate you being here. I really do. I hope you're doing well. We're just talking about the market, talking about everything going on. Let's see. Do I trade Paldea and Stellar Crown ETBs towards a 151 UPC? Are these regular ETBs? I would assume the answer is yes. In that case, I probably would. Personally, I mean, I would just prefer to have 151 over regular ETBs, or the UPC over. I think the UPC is a much better product, and I think that set is better than both. It is a bit expensive right now. Would you rather invest in Sword and Shield or SV right now? You know, it's kind of a broad question because there are a lot of scenarios where I would invest in either. Price point, opportunities in the market. Generally speaking, I like Sword and Shield more, but the special sets in Scarlet and Violet are top tier as well. Crown Zenith, Evolving, I think are both going to do very well. Fusion 2, Lost Origin. Everything else will probably be decent. Celebrations, Chilling, Brilliant, like they'll all be fine. But like when I look at Paldea Evolved and I see a near $500 booster box, like that's not a screaming buy to me. It's the opposite. That's like I lean much more towards selling. Whereas, yeah, Fusion, like when I look at something like Lost Origin, Fusion Strike is what, $1,100 right now, which is pretty insane. And Lost Origin, Paldea Evolved are both kind of ranked similarly in their respective eras as far as boxes go. But like I would rather have a Lost Origin box at 831 than Paldea Evolved at near 500. That's my opinion. With Sword and Shield, though, we just had a huge run up. And I don't typically like to buy right after huge runs up. I like to let it consolidate for a little bit typically. And then I see an opportunity go in slightly under market or even at market, buy, and rinse and repeat. So, I think we'll hang out at these price points for a minute. Pally Evolved. The argument too for Scarlet and Violet is, probably ripped more, relatively speaking, relatively quickly, I should say, for the same amount of time that both of these sets were out. Pally Evolved was probably ripped more than something like Lost Origin, just because Scarlet and Violet is more popular of an era, whether you want to admit it or not. So, there might be less product out there. There might be fewer booster boxes, relatively speaking, to the time that they were the same time frame that they were released. Which, under the hood, there's less downward pressure on a set like this, even though I would say Lost Origin is like a better set. So, it's something to consider, but we don't know. So I like to find things that feel less risky. Right now, I'm still focused on Prismatic at MSRP. If I can get it, I'm very happy. By the way, if you haven't been watching the channel, I pulled the Umbreon and a Demigod pack, which I don't have next to me because I was pulling out cards to grade. Where did I put it? Is it not over here? No, it's over here. I'll get it out because it's pretty rad. Check this out, bro. Pretty insane. I got a Demigod pack. And I was just complaining about Prismatic. Pretty wild. But yeah, Prismatic to me is still an amazing set. I don't care what anybody says. I think Prismatic is going to do well long term. And if I can get these bundles at $57.99 each, bro, that's like a great deal. That's a great deal. So I don't remember what I was talking about. So I'll just move on. I feel like the top sets of Sword and Shield are better than SV, but I think SV is generally deeper and has more good sets. I agree. I think the highs and Sword and Shield are much higher when you look at something like Evolving Skies, obviously. I don't need to hound on how good this set is, but I think the alt-art era of of Evolving Skies, of Sword and Shield, I think these are peak arts that they've ever made. And the best cards from Sword and Shield are pretty incredible. For me, this Gengar is one of my favorite cards of all time. I would love to own it. I just can't justify spending that type of dough on the card at this point. But the Celebi, the Mew, the Espeon, this Gengar, the Giratina, the Lugia. I mean, is this not the best Lugia of all time? If you just only judge the art, it probably is. For me, it is. I know people would say Neo, but they did something special in this era. Scarlet and Violet is pretty good, but if you open something like Twilight Masquerade, it's okay, we have a decent chase card. And then beyond that, it's kind of just illustration rares that are kind of cool, but I don't know. Surging Sparks is all right, well, there's a few good cards in here, but beyond that, it's not speaking to me as much. And I do think pull rates contribute to that somewhat. These are easier to pull. So when you pull something in Sword and Shield, you're like, holy shit, that's crazy. It's like a bomb goes off. So I agree. Hello, Supermaz. I don't know anything about Gundam, so I can't comment on it. Are Champions Path ETBs a play, though? And not worth it? And just stock up more on 151? Personally, I'd stock up more on 151. I don't see how you could argue Champions Path over 151. But What are ETBs even going for right now? I'm not even sure. They were like 100, 140, 145. I mean, the Charizard's probably somewhat undervalued. I mean, there's an opportunity in this set for sure, but I'd rather have 151. There's just so much more demand for the set. Wish Nikki, keep up the great work and content. Happy Sunday. Thank you very much, Wish Nikki. I really appreciate that. Damn. $6.99 CAD. Wow. Thank you so much. That's very generous of you. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hope you're doing well. Damn. That Lugia is insane, bro. This Lugia is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. So, I mean, things that I'm buying right now, I'll tell you what I'm buying right now. I'm waiting on Sword and Shield. We just had a huge run up, so I'm just waiting. I think there are other plays to be made. I think the door is closing on 151, and it's closing a little bit quicker than I thought. You can still find some local deals for 151 blooming 150 and bundles. You kind of have to know some people though. If you have connections built, it's a bit easier to do. But just to message somebody on Facebook Marketplace and be like, yo, would you take 110 or whatever for Blooming Waters? Like, they're probably not going to do it at this point. I think more people are starting to buy, like 151 sales volume is insane. It's pretty ridiculous. But they're still there. They're still there here and there. I just got some Blooming Waters behind me, as you can see, and I got another bundle the other day for 65, which I think is a pretty solid deal. I know TCG Player says 90, but realistically, they sell closer to like 70, 75. So I still think bundles around that price point are good. And I made a prediction a long time ago that booster bundles were going to pass Prismatic ETBs in price a few months ago. And they damn near have. But it just goes to show that 151 is a monster. I'm also buying Prismatic at MSRP if I can get my hands on it. I would love to get an SPC. PC ETBs, they're kind of, for me, a bit pricey right now. I have 6 for $375. I'm just gonna hold on to them. I'm not buying at this price point personally. But like long term, if you do, it'll be up in price. Like I do think this will be like $1,000 at some point in the next 5 years, which is probably conservative estimate in this market, but I tend to lean towards being a little bit more conservative in my predictions. But yeah. Low key, if you can get surprise boxes at MSRP, dude, I feel like this is a crazy play because you get 4 packs, but you also get a promo, 1 of 9, sealed promo, and you can grade the promos, and they sell for like $90 to $100 right now if they get a 10, and they sell for like $10 to $15 sealed. So it's like if you buy a surprise box for $26 and you sell the promo for $15, you get 4 packs for $12 or whatever. Am I crazy? Now, the question is, how easy are the promos to sell in a PSA 10? I think if you can get a full set, probably decent, but like I'm going to be sending some things off to grade soon just because I want to get my feet wet. If I fuck up, it's going to be a learning experience for me. So I have some promos to grade that I thought were contenders. And then, a couple other cards. I'm going to grade this Espeon, even though the centering is like pretty chopped on the front. But everything else is perfect about it, so I think it has a chance. And the premium's worth the low cost. I think there's a play there. Now, there's probably going to be a billion of these prismatic stamped slabs at some point in 10s, but bro, especially if you get the Umbreon, that adds more premium to the box. I think these surprise boxes are kind of fire right now. So every time I get some, I just rip them. And that's where I got my Demigod pack too. Shout out. Am I wrong? Am I wrong about this? Watch some videos on grading submission strats, like throwing in a sacrificial 9 to potentially get more 10s. Yeah. That's pretty interesting. Pop doesn't seem to be affecting prices with Prismatic. I agree. Yeah, I mean, like, these cards are so hard to pull. They're not as hard as, like, you know, Evolving Skies, but very hard to pull. Extremely difficult to pull. I got stupid lucky I pulled the Umbreon, and I fully recognize that. You know, I do think the prices of these cards are going to continue to come down, but I do think they'll probably start going up at some point in the future. I think surprise boxes, there's a lot out there right now, like blooming 6 months ago. Agreed. So many that it's cheaper than every other product. Same as Sea and Sky. Yes. I mean, you can get these surprise boxes for $40 if you're not paying MSRP. But I've had some opportunities to get it at MSRP. I have 2 more on the way from Target, and I didn't even try hard. I just got a ping for Target. I just bought it, and I was like, all right, cool. You know, I think a lot of people are thinking with Prismatic right now that, like, we're getting a lot of product in general at the moment, but the prediction is that it'll slow down as new sets kind of enter the fold. And Pokemon Company, they need to focus on Journey, Destined, Mega Evolution, Black Bolt White Flare, Phantasmal Flames. So there's a lot of focus on these sets, and we have a break in between Mega Evolution and Black Bolt White Flare, so it's a great opportunity for them to release a bunch of Prismatic. So it could be that for the next few months, you know, we don't get that much Prismatic, relatively speaking. And also all the product that we just got, it's really like a drop in the bucket anyway. It doesn't even seem to have that much of an effect. Regardless, now my strategy for Prismatic is the same. Buy at MSRP as opportunities come up. I'm not buying ETBs at $100. Long term, I think you'll be all right if you do. But for me personally, it hasn't been that hard to get some ETBs. And I'm not saying I have 500. You know, I have, I don't know, probably 12 at MSRP or cheaper because of the bundles. That's cool with me. I feel good about it. I think yellow border IR PSA 10s are a good play, relatively cheap, and will be considered unique sooner than we think since they are all silver borders now. All right. I don't know if this is a hot take, but I don't give a shit about yellow borders. If anything, I think they look terrible now that the silver borders are out. Is that just me? All right, let me go back to a set. Is that just me? Bro, where are the yellow bordered cards? Am I dumb? I know they exist. Hang on. I think the silver borders are so much better. Bro, am I crazy? I mean, I guess the comments haven't, but I thought some IRs, like, I could have swore some of these IRs were yellow bordered, no? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Lost Origin is probably the best example of this. But like this Gengar, it would look so much better with the silver border. The Charizard, the Pikachu. I mean, the Pikachu is like a little better because, you know, it's Pikachu, but they kind of look like shit. I mean, I don't really care that much, but they just like this. This does not look good. You cannot tell me that this yellow border looks good on this card. Dude, they just look so bad. They look terrible. Compared to like, you know, the Altart like silver, that looks so much better. I'm so glad they moved from that. It just makes the cards look so cheap. It doesn't help that they typically are cheap. You know? But I don't know. I guess like part of me is like I love Sword and Shield, so I feel a certain way about them. But yeah, the border, like, dude, look at this card. Look at the border. So much better. So much better. I know it's a bit more rare, but you get my point. EX era borders. They do look better on these. On like older cards, I think they look better. But maybe I'm just like, maybe that's just cope. They do look better on older cards. I agree. There's something about that vintage that it makes it pop more. It's like the art style, you know what I mean? Like when it's a full art, it looks wrong, but when it's like this, when like your hits are, you know, the kind of older style, like with the window and then the text below it, it makes more sense. For sure. So silver hollow border, yeah. Yeah, shift in art styles. Definitely. It was more dialed in when they had yellow borders on some of these. Like it just made more sense for the art style. But then once they became like entered the full art era, it just started looking wrong. It's nostalgic. It is. It is nostalgic. And to be fair, like this entire hobby is built on nostalgia for the most part. So like it doesn't matter how many new Pokemon they make, the first 4 gens are like iconic. By the way, what is I was looking at generations last night, like just of like all generations. Bro, Gen 4 kind of sucks. Maybe that's a hot take. Gen 4 kind of sucks. I like Gen 4. I like Diamond and Pearl. Don't get me wrong. I love Torterra. That's my boy. Infernape, rad. Empoleon, it's fine. But like, I mean, I do like Luxray, but I don't know. Kind of overrated, in my opinion. Compared to like Gen 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3. Bro, I kind of think Gen 5 is better than Gen 4. Maybe that's a hot take. Also, the legendaries in Gen 4 are pretty mid, in my opinion. Like Dialga and Palkia, and then you have like the lake spirits. And then it's like Giratina. Giratina is kind of overrated, no? A big centipede boy. Darkrai's cool, I guess. Arceus. Gen 4 is not peak, bro. Bro, look at Gen 3. There's no world where you can tell me Gen 4 is better than Gen 3. Blaziken? Come on, man. Shiftry? Gardevoir? Bro, Breloom, the GOAT. Sableye, Manectric. Flygon, bro. Goated. Milotic. And then look at the legendaries. Got Metagross, Regirock, Regice, Registeel, Latias, Latios, Kyogre, Groudon, Rayquaza, Jirachi, Deoxys. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here. I mean, most of y'all probably agree with me, but dude, come on. The legendaries in Gen 3 are peak. Let's look at Gen 5 because I think Gen 5 kind of underrated. Superior, Embor, Samurott. Samurott's pretty rad. You got the monkeys. I think the thing about Gen 5 is that you kind of have to play it to really appreciate it. Like Excadrill's a beast. And like Crocodile's a beast. But like Sigilif, rad. Cofagrigus, rad. Archeops, rad. Zoroark, dude. Come on. Come on. It's pretty good gen. Haxorus, bro. Pretty good. You know what I'm saying, bro? Hydreigon. And then you got you got Landorus, Tornadus, Thundurus, Reshiram, Zekrom, Kyurem. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Damn, Mitch. Thank you, man. $10? What the hell? I really appreciate that, bro. That's insane. That was a lot of money to give somebody. Thank you, man. Everybody go subscribe to Mitch. That's who I go for most of my my product updates and how to get product updates. That's my go, for real. Dude, I don't think I've seen any PokeTuber streams pop off as much as his during these Phantasmal Flames like waiting rooms or whatever you want to call them. But I have to imagine you feel like a hostage right now because they're just not releasing it, but it's kind of a good thing because you can just stream every day. But yeah, everybody check out Mitch. He's the boy. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Sorry, we can get back on topic for the Pokemon market, but I just had to put Gen 3 on the map a little bit more, and I think Diamond and Pearl is kind of overrated. The games are fun though. The sets are pretty good too. Crown Zenith is the best set of all time. Scarlet and Violet special sets are good, but Crown Zenith is different. Guys, yeah, let's talk about this because I kind of agree. I think Crown Zenith might be the best set of all time. If you say Evolving Skies, I'm fine with that. I think the highs in Evolving are higher. Actually, no, I think Evolving is the best set of all time. But Crown Zenith, it's up there. But like, does anybody think Paldean Fates is better than Crown Zenith? I mean, do we really think that? What do we think? That can't just be me. I like Paldean Fates. All right. Crown Zenith is loaded, bro. Look at these cards. But I love the gold cards. I think if you're not crazy about the gold cards, I don't know how you're not crazy about these. Those look like Lord of the Rings magic art. Yeah, 100%. Bro, this shit is crazy. They've never done anything like this. Not to mention everything else in the set. Bro, 151 is not better than Crown Zenith. 151 is good, but it's kind of low key. I think 151 is kind of mid art wise. Investment, it's goated, but like the art is kind of mid. Is that just me? Is that a hot take? Because I kind of feel that way. Like, I think the Charizard is, I think it's appealing. It's appealing. I don't like it that much. It looks like, how do I describe how I feel when I look at this card? It kind of looks like, it looks like Fortnite Season 3. You know what I mean? Bro, it looks like I'm about to drop in and like mine some trees. I don't know. It doesn't look right to me. I don't know. The Blastoise has grown on me a little bit, but it's not my favorite. I think the Venusaur is pretty good. The Zapdos is good. Alakazam is phenomenal, personally. Squirtle and the Charmander, though, they're good. Don't get me wrong. I don't like it that much. Compared to Crown Zenith? Brother. And then I go to Crown Zenith and I look at it and I'm just like, yo, this is insane. Like, this is insane. They're so stylized and so unique. Look at the Suicune, bro. Are you kidding me? If Crown Zenith came out during Scarlet and Violet, it would be over. You would not get the set. I'm so thankful it came out when it did. I'm so like even some of the lower arts. Look at this Deoxys. It's so cool. The yellow border is shit, but it's so cool. Anyway, that's how I feel. Yo, low key, I want to get y'all's thoughts on this too. How do we feel about Black Bolt and White Flare? I'm seeing a lot of hate on these sets. I'm seeing a lot of hate on Gen 5. Nobody's going to buy these in the future. You know what I'm saying? Yet, we talk about Twilight Masquerade like it's really, really good. Are you kidding me? Do you guys think Twilight Masquerade, from an art perspective, is better than Black Bolt? Here, I'll open both. I just want to see what we're thinking. Obviously, you know my answer. And if you say yes, that's cool. Now, I know Greninja is very expensive. Okay, I understand. Do you guys think Twilight Masquerade is a better card set than Black Bolt? I don't. Black Bolt is way better. Let me ask you this. Do you think Surging is better than Black Bolt? Do you think Surging Sparks is better than Black Bolt? Black Bolt clears. Well, I'm assuming we're talking about Twilight Masquerade. Bro, I think Black Bolt is better than Surging Sparks. I love the Latias. The Milotic is great. Beyond that, there's nothing in here that's like better for me than Black Bolt. Bro, this Zekrom is better than every card in Surging Sparks. You have the monochromatics, which are pretty unique. I think the Seismitoad, I know it's Seismitoad, but I do like it. Kyurem, Haxorus, Serperior, Genesect, and then you just keep going. I know it gets kind of midi after that, but come on. I'm just saying. Now, White Flare, I think, is worse than Black Bolt. I do love the Reshiram, and I love the Hydreigon. Beyond that, you know, the Samurott, the Zoroark, pretty solid. I think Black Bolt is a level ahead. But, yeah, because they are going to remake Black. I'm pretty sure they're going to remake Black and White or re-release them or whatever. 100%. That's almost certainly going to happen at some point. You know what I'm saying? When that happens, bro, it's going to be probably a couple years from now, I imagine. Bro, Black Bolt and White Flare are going to get a pop. This is the exact type of set that in a downturn, which if we say a downturn happens in 2026 or 2027, like Black Bolt is a set that you want cases of. You know what I'm saying? Like ideally like $30, $40 in ETB. This is the exact type of set that I would want. I think it's underrated. I think it's hella underrated. Ew, I hate that I just said that. Dude, the flex. Thank you, man. Welcome. Yo, Chuck, love content. Hopefully you can support more in the future. Dude, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, man. Welcome. If you're in my Discord, let me know, and I'll get you added to the members-only Discord chat, which is the only feature we have for members right now. I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. That goes for everybody else who's a member as well. Thank you, dude. You're the GOAT. Yeah, I don't know. Those are my thoughts. I think Black Bolt is sick. And I think these cards will age well, too. I do. I believe that. Oh, dude, all good. All good. Just let me know. No rush. And if you don't want to join, that's totally up to you. I just appreciate you being here. I don't know. Do people really want to have a vanilla art rare? Hey, man, you could say that about a lot of sets. There's some dumb Pokemon art rares, all right? At least, like, the top hits are pretty cool. Surging has, like, 2 cards that are cool. You know what I'm saying, bro? Latias and Milotic carry. Milotic is beautiful and slept on. I do agree. I think that card is pretty phenomenal. I actually prefer it over the Latias, but Latias is Latias, so it gets a notch. But this card's awesome. What a card. Let me go to TCG Player. I think this card rules. And it probably looks amazing in real life. I haven't actually seen it in real life. For $90, dude? I think there's some plays to be made on Surging with all the product hitting the shelves right now. For cards, if you're interested in that type of thing. 160 bucks. It's crazy that we got more product and it just went up. It's like everybody had the same idea. It's pretty funny how that works, you know? All right. Shall we enter the question phase of the stream? Flex, thank you again, man. I really appreciate that. Welcome. Appreciate all the support today, guys. This is probably I probably had the most viewers in this stream of all time. So that's pretty insane. And I don't take it for granted. Thank you very much. Hope you're having a good day. Latias is a pickup from Surging Sparks, way undervalued. Probably agree. I think it'll be more expensive in the future. I would like to own this card. That Reshiram is gorgeous in real life. It is. It's very nice. Prismatic Sacrilege is underrated. Let me refresh my memory. Isn't it kind of like crazy art? Yeah, every time I look at this, I don't know what I'm looking at, but let me take it in. The flamey things are pretty cool. The crown is crazy though. The crown is crazy. It's pretty good. I like the Sacrilege more in Surging though. Promos. Yeah, guys, let's talk about promos. I mean, all promos are going up that are decent. A couple promos that I really like: the Victini and the Black Ball White Flare box, as well as the Fruit EV promo and the SPC. I think both of those are plays for sure. For sure. No doubt. Roaring Moon, this is the best card in the set, in my opinion. I love it. Over-designed, maybe. You gotta have some over-designed cards, though. You know what I'm saying? You gotta mix it up. It can't always just be like base set Charizard vibes. But I kind of agree. The Victini promo is already $15. Yeah, it is crazy. And for those who don't know, we're talking about this, which I think is a pretty good promo. And Victini, legendary, hey, it's a nice card. And I don't think anybody has talked about this promo more than myself on my channel. Why is it $15? Because everything is pumping right now, and particularly promos are pumping, and good promos are pumping. So it's just going up. And I think actually those boxes are a pretty good play. Earns belief in Pikachu Adventure Dress promo. It's the same story. It's a good promo in in a box that's a little bit harder to get now. All good promos are pumping right now. That's just the way it goes. Charizard UPC. I do want to talk about that actually. I do want to talk about this. Bro, can I just see the price? Whatever. I tried grading 4 Victini box fresh promos. All got 8s. Damn. That's brutal. Keep the sauce secret. Hey, man. Ern, you said it yourself. The cat is out of the bag. The cat's out of the bag. Everybody knows about good promos now. Even me. Even me. And if I know about good promos, the top must be in. Yeah, I do think that those two promos are very good though. The Fruit Eevee promo will absolutely pump at some point in the future. There's no doubt about it. I think the main thing holding it back is if we get more SBCs, obviously, which historically the answer is yes. I'm hoping to get some myself. The Victini does seem to be hard to grade. I have 4 boxes, and one of them, the promo looks good on the front. The other 3, centering is shit. I could open it right now and show you guys if you want, if the back looks good or not. It's kind of a risk, but I could add it to my grading pile, which, yes, I have a grading pile. Huh. I do. Also, I want to run this by you guys. I wanted to grade my Sunbreon. I was talking to Ern about this. He helped me a lot. Thank you for doing that, by the way. I don't think I'm going to grade it, but I might. I'm very concerned about the surface of this card. The centering's pretty good. The edges are good. It's really the surface. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, actually. But basically on the front, there's like paint. Nah, it's not going to pick up. There's like paint dots on the borders. And there's like a tiny print line on the back, and then there's like a kind of a scuff looking thing on the back. It looks like kind of a white dot situation. It sucks. I don't know. Yeah, the gem rate has definitely tanked on Scarlet and Violet. Shout out to Pika Papa, although I don't know if I want to call him Pika Papa, but he's the man. I like him a lot. But yeah, gem rates are way down. Like Moonbreon gem rate was what, 70%? But ever since they upped the printers, the print quality's pretty much gone to shit. Jay, it's not missing color. It's almost like there's paint splatter from like the actual. There's a better photo in my Discord, and it looks better in real life, but the picture is like when they do their scans on the card, it's I think my surface on this card, my surface score will be terrible. but it might be worth trying anyway, just because it's such an expensive card. You might as well. And I still think there's like a slight premium on 9s for the for the Sunbreon, so it's probably still worth checking out. But yeah, let me know what you think, Jay. I'm curious. You'll have to scroll up a little bit in the grading section. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to get clean cards these days, for sure. Maybe I'll save the I'll save the Black Bolt White Flare box for 4K subs. Yeah. But I am very curious about the back of that Victini card because the front looks lovely. We'll see. But if it looks, oh, dude, if it's not gonna, now I'm dying to know. No. Here's what I'll do. I'll open it, but I'll save the packs for later. I'll do that. I want to see how the promo looks. All right, this is the only one that I think has a chance at a 10 based on the centering on the front. Dude, Dr. PC, thank you for subscribing, dude. I appreciate that. Guys, if you're here and you've had fun, we make a lot of content like this. Consider liking, consider subscribing. Liking the stream helps out a lot. You don't have to. Just being here helps too. But I appreciate everybody being here, man. This has been a really fun stream. Probably my favorite so far. I batch graded 20 to 30 plus cards in the past. No cause for concern. Oh, it's because few insights about batching the same card. Interesting. Some anecdotal insider info. One PSA employee's trade secrets is hogwash when there are probably hundreds of graders. Yeah. It'll always be inconsistent as long as there's a human grading, no matter how good the process is. How do we feel about AI grading? I like the human aspect of grading. I find it more interesting. I also hate AI in general. So, of course, there are use cases. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just so over AI. Anyway, all right, let me see what this promo looks like. All right, here's the promo. Now, mind you, the centering on the other 3 that I have are terrible, but this one's pretty good on the front. But obviously, the back is the concern. PSA 10 Victini promo auction at 620 with a ton of time left. Golly. 620? This is just first to market, I guess. All right. Moment of truth, my friends. I'm assuming the Pokeball Victini is like, it's one of those things you just hold on to, but you don't really. It's not like you're great in that, right? Here we go. Oh God, I hate getting these promo cards out of these boxes. It's just like, this is terrifying. Here we go. It looks pretty good. Oh God. I haven't opened this box. What is the plastic on here? Oh, it's just a... Calm down. Calm down, Noah. Here we go. Hey, let me get a sleeve. I think it looks pretty good. I'm learning about grading. Here we go. Let me get a sleeve. All right. The off-screen tension is killing me. I'm sorry, Dawn. I'm sorry. I'm the worst at that too, by the way. All right. Gently. All right. Let me sleeve it up. This is just good habits. All right. Take a look at this. Sorry, my camera's not amazing. Here's the front. Is it focused kind of all right? I don't know. Do a zoom in. I'll send pictures in the Discord. Better up close. Sleeve off. Here's the back. Let me look at the back one more time. There is some kind of edge wear. Oh, dude, I think the edges suck. Oh, we see. Oh, true. Sorry, Jay. I'm terrible at streaming. Okay, here's the front again. You know. Wait. Oh, the glare is horrible. Okay, not bad. Pretty good centering. You know, nothing bad. But look at the. You can even see the edge wear on the left side over here. Unfortunate. I bought 50 and only 42 were worth considering. Just shut the hell up. All right, check this out. All right. Corners, pretty good, right? I'm concerned about the edges. Oh, 8 were worth considering. Okay. I would maybe consider sending this in, but the edge. Okay, that's a much better view. There's a dot. Let me see if that's dust. I think that's dust. Sorry. But it looks kind of good. The edges are concerning. I don't know how well it translates to the camera, but what do we think? I mean, I think it's close. I'll send better pictures in my grading chat in the Discord, but heavy on the bottom. The centering doesn't really matter that much on the back. I think this is fine centering for the back of a card. It's a bit heavy on the bottom, but it's 75-25, remember. And if it's perfect everywhere else, they're not going to care, from what I can tell. But this is my area of concern. Sorry for the close-up of my palm. I don't know. It's a bit white on the edge. And then compare that to the back of my Espeon, which I think I am going to grade. Here's the front of the centering. Ern, I don't think you would grade this. But if you pulled it, you might. I know the centering is pretty bad on the front, but everything else is like beautiful. There's like nowhere. See the difference in quality? I might send it in. What do we think? Would you send this in, Ern? I guess if you buy 50, you're going to be a bit pickier. But oh wait, hang on. Uh-oh. We might have a surface issue. So above this second rock right here, look at this. Wait for it. There's a little ding. You see where Victini's looking? See that little dot above the second island where Victini's looking? That's a little ding on the card. It's like right there. Right where my nail is. That kind of maybe takes away the chances I may have had before. Yeah, if you guys can see it, I don't think it's a 10, unfortunately. Now I'm sad. I'm not actually sad. It's okay. Can't be sad when it's a $15 raw promo. One defect is a PSA 9. I thought it was two defects as a PSA 9 if everything else is perfect. Like if one corners has a dot and everything else is perfect, then maybe they're more lenient towards 10s. I've also heard that dents on the surface are kind of bad, obviously. I've heard that if everything is perfect, then a lot of graders are willing to move up to 60-40 centering if everything is perfect. I know it's 55-45 now on the front, which is kind of why I want to grade this Espeon. You know what I'm saying? It depends on the defect. Yeah, I understand. That makes sense. I don't know. To be honest, I'm just learning about grading. I've not graded before. Ice. Shout out to Ice, my boy. I've not graded before. But I want to submit a few cards and just kind of see how I do. I got this Lucario, which is pretty decent. This Blastoise, which I think is perfect. And then I got some. I know, Ern, you were grading some of these PC stamps, but I got a few, and they're all pretty good. I'm pretty surprised with the quality of these promos. My Glaceon had a big ding in it, though, so not sending that one in. And then I think I am going to send in this Espeon because I didn't buy it. I pulled it. The centering on the front is not amazing. I think it's 57-43. But everything is perfect. Like there's no flaws anywhere. So I might as well grade it because the premium on a 10 is so high. And if there's any chance I get a 10, then I have to imagine that the expected value of grading this card for like $20 is worth it. But I don't think I would do that. Like I wouldn't buy this card to grade. So it does change it a little bit. Anyway, sorry, I'm probably boring you guys. But I find it very interesting putting all the pieces together in this hobby. You know what I'm saying? You should submit and make a video about it. I would love to do that. The only problem is it's going to take 3 months to get my cards back for these anyway. But still, that's a 9 at best, probably. I don't know. I might not grade it. Stamp promos, I got 9s. Ern, did you get dings on the same area for most cards? Because I noticed for some of these stamps, and I'm considering maybe reevaluating which ones I'm sending in. Like on this top part on the edge, I noticed that that's where most of the damage is kind of done. The backs are pretty flawless for me. But they all kind of like, if you shine a flashlight the right angle, you can kind of see like a little, you know what I'm saying? Also, the centering on these four are not like amazing. I think they're worth sending in though. Grading is hard. It's so difficult. Also, what are y'all's thoughts on this Lucario? Because does it look like a flattened edge? I'm not exactly sure what that means, but let me try to show you what I mean. Because The answer might be yes. So top right of the card above the Jolteon, or up here. Let's see if I can get this to work again. Come on. Come on. There we go. So top kind of right, like up here-ish. It's really hard to tell on camera. But you can kind of maybe see a little just flattening, if that's what you're referring to. This might not even be the best card to show this. It's subtle, but in real life, like right here, right above the pad of my finger. On the Glaceon that I have, it's worse for sure. I think I might have out, but take a pic and post on Discord. I'll post all of these in Discord. Maybe I should do a little more due diligence. I would appreciate all insight. I like talking about grading. I think it's really fun, actually. I'm kind of wondering if the Blastoise is the only card I have that's like actually worth grading. Maybe my standards are a little low. If you're going to get... Okay, this is a fair point. General rule of thumb is if you're going to gamble on questionable cards, don't do it on cheap ones because the expected value is much higher for expensive cards. Especially for these stamped promos, I imagine. Like the Espeon is probably, like maybe arguably a better candidate, despite the centering, just because the centering is a little bad though. But that makes sense. Pissing away money for smaller potential gains. Gamble on the bigger chases and expensive cards because you will at least have a chance for those cards to go up in a 9 if you miss. Like for instance, the Umbreon. I should probably grade this, and if I miss, just crack it. But like the premium in it, I don't think it's going to get a 10, but the premium, even in, I think it even has a small premium in a 9. And then if it's a 9, I could just hold on to it. But the premium in a 10 is like fucking ungodly. It's like $2,000. So it's like you might as well, especially if you pull them. I imagine your rules change a bit when you purchase cards for grading. You need to be pretty either getting good deals and you're left with raw plays, or like the Victini. But if you're purchasing these prismatic stamps to grade and they're not perfect, like you're just losing money, I guess. PSA 9 might even go more than raw in some cases, depending on the card. I think the 9 does go for a little bit more on the Sunbreon. That's a good call. Thank you for that. For sure. I would grade some of my older childhood cards and not care about the value and grade just so the condition stays. Yeah, that's good utility for grading. Yeah. I was going to talk about this box. I think that's the last thing I'll do before I sign off because I have plans with friends today. Huh. Imagine that. I think this is a good buy. Even at $400. It's basically a Sword and Shield ETF. It has all the best packs in it and Darkness Ablaze. And 3 promos that are very good. 3 Charizard promos, which I'm sure we're all familiar with. I think anything under 400 is still a good buy. I bought mine at 285, and I've been talking about this product for a while. Yeah. Sorry. Shout out to the guy who asked me about this 35 minutes ago before I started talking about grading. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Should I just open these packs? There's no way I get through 2 weeks of me just staring at 4 packs. Oh, show screen? My bad. Yeah, sorry, the Zard box. The Zard box. All right, I'm going to open these packs, and then we're going to get out for real. And then we'll go. We'll do White Flare first. Thank you, John. Appreciate that, man. You going to go dress up as a furry Pokemon with the boys? How did you know? How are you in the group chat? Rip them? I got you. I got you. All right. White flare. Sorry, I don't do a lot of openings for real. We're just gonna go right into it. It's gonna look bad, but we're here for the results. Reverse. Uh-oh. Don't show this to Team Rocket Joey. Okay. Sorry, this is a terrible opening experience for you guys. Okay. White flare coming at you. Yeah, these boxes are a good value to TBH. You get a $15 promo. Zoroark. Regular. I want to see a whole lot of red. Me too, my friend. Me too. I can't even complain after my Demigod pack, Sunbreon. Like, I'm just happy to be here at this point. You know what I mean? Here we go. Oh God, this is horrible. Here we go. Reverse. Regular. We're getting smoked. Who is hiding behind that bed? Don't do this to me. What are your thoughts on reserved investment videos that everyone is hoarding sealed product and once price stagnates, it will be dumped? What do you mean reserved investments? Do you just mean people buying Pokemon for investments? I think the investor space is a lot smaller than people think, and I think demand is so high that with a deflationary asset like this, it doesn't really matter if people hold on to it or not. People have been saying this since the beginning of time, yet everything, prices go up. All right, last pack, Black Bolt. Here we go. That is a Pokeball. Confirming. All right. Oh, it's a YouTube channel. Ah, sorry. Oh, he made a video. I guess he made a video on everybody's hoarding sealed, and once it stagnates, it'll be dumped. I mean, I do think there is some there's definitely some merit to that in a market with a collectible asset. When people need money, they're not going to prioritize holding their Pokemon investments. The average investor, like there will be some type of correction, and we have seen this in the past when product hits the market during downturns. Everything becomes more available all of a sudden, and then it's kind of a race to the bottom. The difference is that every month that goes by for a set that's been released, it matters less, right? It matters less, but we are entering some type of euphoria, and I do think there's definitely some merit to that. Market conditions are pretty unique this time around. It's hard to put money anywhere and expect a higher return. I think we need kind of a concoction of different conditions for something super significant like that to happen. Not saying it can't. But I'll definitely watch the video. Reserved investments. Was that? Let me see. Is this just like it's just like a collectible channel? Is it which video is it? Is it the most recent one? I mean, the story with Pokemon is always invest for minimum time horizon 2 to 3 years. I'd say 3 years to be safe. Old school guy, collectible investing for a long time. So would you say he's pretty like versed in Pokemon, because it's kind of different than sports cards? Some of his stuff won't resonate with a lot of Poke investors today who are delusional. Yeah, that makes sense. I'll watch the most recent video and then 1 a.m. rant. Modern era Pokemon cards are in a speculative frenzy, not a speculative bubble. I'll check it out. He just understands markets in general. That makes sense. That's why we preach good practices on this channel, guys. For sure. You minimize risk as much as you can in an inherently risky space. That's not actually that risky, historically speaking. I feel like he's smart at everything, but doesn't have enough depth on Pokemon. You know what? I think there's a lot of space for financial investment, education in the Pokemon world. I think there is a lot of that missing for sure. I've been considering making some type of investment video, like a financial, good hygiene video, but I don't know. I don't think people would watch, but maybe I should do it anyway on an off day because it's so important. I used to preach that a lot more at the beginning of my channel. There's literally zero depth in Pokemon. Just buy sealed and pretend corrections won't happen 100%. 100%, especially right now. We are 1 year removed from $110 boxes. That is insane to think. That is insane to think. And the issue is that most people in this space, they're not here for the long term or even the midterm. They're here for, oh, I bought a prismatic bundle that's worth 2 times what I paid for it. That's about the depth of thinking for the most part. Or it's like, hey, will my prismatic ETB go up in price? And it's like, eventually. But there's much more to talk about in that question. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's a highly speculative asset that people typically use disposable money on. And right now it just happens to be in the largest bull run we've ever seen. And people need to keep that in the back of their mind and have a better plan and have some type of profit-taking strategy. Because like I said at the beginning of the stream, if you think that we are continuing at the same pace, your $400 box will be worth $400,000 in 10 years. Literally. That's not an exaggeration. It's probably not going to happen. But Pokemon being deflationary is very interesting. At the end of the day, we are at the Pokemon company's will. So not that they've made significant changes to their strategy, their printing strategy in the past, but when you are beholden to one company making decisions for profit, like, you need to have a pretty good strategy. If you got it at retail, you wouldn't even consider moving it. I would, but I don't need to. Like all of my prismatic that I own, I got at retail, except for one PCTB. I bought it like $250, but whatever. I think PCTBs are stupidly overvalued. That's my opinion. For what they are. I understand why they're going up, but it's pretty ridiculous. But like 151 booster bundles or Blooming Waters at a decent price, it's like there's much more limited downside in risk buying that versus buying prismatic for the same price, like a booster bundle, for obvious reasons. So, but the issue is new people are coming into the hobby. They're buying anything that they can get, literally anything that they can get. And that's very dangerous. And that's not a long-term strategy. I think Paladin Fates is pretty overvalued too. I understand why it's going up, and similar thing to 151, but it's just crazy. when the main argument is this set is short printed, I'm like, ooh, I get a little nervous making really, really bold assumptions like that when it comes to money that I'm spending. So anything outside of like market, or I'm sorry, like MSRP, which I got some blisters, like it kind of freaks me out. But I'm also kind of an old head investor type in the space. Like I have to remind you guys, the vast majority of my net worth is in the stock market. Now, a lot of people aren't going to like, me saying that, but I try to max out my 401k and my Roth IRA every year. Anyway, yeah, maybe I'll make a video on that, but I'll check out his channel. Shout out to Reserved Investments. Seems like a pretty good source of information. I'll take y'all's word for it. All right. Did I miss anything? Are we good? It kind of was a Q&A. It was kind of preachy, Jerry. We did a little bit of both. Yep. Yeah, you too, Ern. Good to have you here, man. Thanks. And thank you for all the grading advice. Really appreciate it. Guys, we'll call it there. I had a great time. I know it was less today. It was a little bit less Q&A. We answered some questions, but I think we had a good dialogue going, and I really appreciate everybody who dropped by, who dropped a membership and a donation. That's insane. Thank you so much for doing that. I really appreciate it. I will see you tomorrow in the market update Monday video. Just trying to put Pokebeard on, give him a little bit of exposure. Yeah, Discord is live. Link should be in the description. So pop on in. We talk about sealed singles, all the stuff. Members only Discord. Or I'm sorry, it's not a members only Discord. There is a members only chat in the Discord. That is live. I'm going to add all the members who are in the Discord to it. You guys are the best. Thank you very much. Enjoy your days. Hope you have a good rest of your weekend. Don't get the Sunday scaries. I will see you very soon in the next one. Goodbye, my friends. Thank you again. Peace. Goodbye.